I'll tell them we will adjust this course. Apologize for our technical difficulties, but we should be back up and running. Smooth sailing from here. So once again, if this is your first time joining us, LUCOZADE Final 11 League featuring Fortnite. It is a Fortnite tournament. Massive prizes. I'd like to take this opportunity to once again partners and sponsors. The LUCOZADE Final 11 League is run and managed by we're also partnered with Game Changer, a couple of other brands that were gracious enough to lend them to us. Once again, and also I'd like to thank Jojo as well. Beautiful tournament. Yeah, and just like that, we're going into our second solo game. The first game had previously ended. And so far, we've seen a lot of great gameplay. We've seen a lot of wonderful, interesting. Let me say interesting play styles that have come out. You know, we're expecting a straightforward game, but we end up getting a more tactical approach because game one was the kill intensity. I was looking for the limbs and everything along those lines. But now that we've introduced placement point, we want to see how that's going to happen. Gotta keep it as fresh as possible for everyone. And the first game, like I said before, was very kill intensive. We had a couple of guys doing a wonderful job getting 5 kills there, 4 kills elsewhere. So I'm curious to see how this next game will go. And we're loading it up right now in the background. We should have it on stream. So we're also reading the chat together. Anything they say, anything to ask to us or anyone else that's watching, please feel free to comment in chat. You know, share the stream around, get some things going. This is a massive step for the scene itself, and I should thank all our partners for facilitating massive tournament. Prizes are insane. We have these first place gets a fully decked out PlayStation 5 with a media controller, a gamepad, multiple games. Second place gets a PS4 VR kit, 5 games. Third place gets an Lite, and the fourth all the way down. No one leaves empty-handed. Everyone goes home with something. 1,500 voucher from Game Changer. Also, for you guys watching, we're not going to leave you guys out as well. We have a couple of hampers to give out. We have 40 Game Changer discount codes that can be claimed at the TRM or Junction. And as we start spectating the game, we're here starting off with a player who fumbled his name-changing process. So we don't know what it's called. We're going to find out as time goes on. But for now, we'll call him question mark. That's his gamer tag as it stands. He's leaving Weather Station with a decent loot. He has full shield. He's carrying an extra mini. He has a great farm shotgun, a blue AR, and a medkit. He's pushing into Catty Corner. He wants to see if he can get some loot over here. This is a very interesting side of the map. You know, it's one of the more highly elevated parts of the map. In later games, when the zone pulls up, it does pose a challenge to rotate up and down the mountains. But for an off-spawn situation, it's not bad. As you can see, there was a player who was previously here, and he left some telltale signs that he looted the area. He opts to pick up peppers for the medkit. Wouldn't leave him there since there's more action going on. We're on Anonymous right now, who is in a spaceship. He is rotating over to the IO post, which is a new addition this landed camp card. He has a recon scanner, minis, attack, and an AR. So the rules in the game right now for the tournament are this: you may use this for rotation. However, you cannot use the spaceships in a combat situation. You're not allowed to use the spaceship or the railgun in a combat situation. And as you can see, it gets up on the mountain, and he finds a shotgun vending machine where he can buy himself a blue pump, which is a very powerful weapon. We're gonna switch over to see what Fortnite Africa is running with right now. He's wearing the ninja skin with the frosted red knight pickaxe. That's an OG combo right here. With the pickaxe at least, the skin's fairly new. But yeah, he has a decent loadout. He has 150 shield, 150 HP, 100 health, and 50. He could use a big pot in this position. I'm sure that's what he's looking for. Well, he's carrying 3 minis, a medkit, an SMG, a green pump, and an AK. And as it stands right now, not much going on. You know, guys, I've heard this placement points. This is going to be a more tactical game than the previous one, and I'm glad to see how it's panning out. It's the most fun Fortnite to watch is one with interesting endgames that provides a situation where there's a lot going on, and it gives me a lot to talk about. And if you haven't figured this out already, I like talking. But we hop onto Siren. He's an anonymous node. He's currently in a fight. He does have 130 materials. That's 13 effective kills. He has a grey pump, a sniper, 2 extra minis, but his effective HP is 130, 70 health and 50 kills. We don't know how the other player he's fighting is currently. Coral Castle is in the map. He has a lot of vision with the recon scanner. The recon scanner does show you the enemy players through their builds. He definitely sees where he's at. He's going in, might pick up the kill maybe. Up in a better position. He's under the metal floor. I don't know if you guys can see that if you look back in the metal. The player in there. Drops the recon scanner again. He's playing the long game. He very easily pressure his wall, but he wants to let the other player make the first move. He punishes him. He drops on the wall, decides to stand the hop in. Has sprint through the wall. The other player does a good job of holding his kills. He rotates pump shots. He missed once again. And just like that, he gets not hero plays with a big pump shot. And like I said before, the blue pump is a very, very good weapon. He had almost no HP. He had 1 mini on him and 8 HP. That is very sad for Siren. He was in a he's in a position where he should have been winning that fight. But we can't take anything away from Hero, because he does manage to pick up the elimination with a very, very good pump shot. He hit for more than 130 with 1 pump shot. A great shot, and those are the kind of shots you need when you're in the position he was in. Very weak, not the most mats in the world, and manages to get that elimination. This should set him up for a good end game. He has 150 shield now, can get up his mats very quickly. Coral Castle is one of the best places in the map to get to or break up really fast. You could easily walk out of here with 999 quick. That's more than enough material to build any sort of fight with it. Doesn't matter. He's running with a blue AR, a blue pump, a blue sniper rifle, and 1 mini. Decent ammo across the board. Maybe he could use a bit more if he does want to win this game. Maybe not enough to win the game, but enough to get him a few limbs, get him more ammo. In the run, I'm gonna switch over to Deno. Let's see what Deno's up to. So as you guys can see, with the old spectator ID, we want to make sure you guys see as much of everyone as possible. Give you a view of exactly what's going on across the whole map. This is a battle royale game, and public match allows us to do this because we play in the game and across everyone. Now Deno landed Weeping Woods. Interesting part of the map. One of the most performance draining parts of the map. It is very graphically demanding. And he has a great tactical shotgun, grey AK, 2 grey AKs actually, a green SMG and a big pot. He does have a launch pad and about 150 players. If he does hope to win this game, he's gonna have to figure something out when it comes down to the material situation. He'll get a couple of better guns. As much as the AK has been buffed, it's never gonna be as good as the other weapons. I'm gonna switch over and see if there's any action over Anonymous 314. And this is something for the viewers we're gonna fix to have everyone who's playing pick off the Anonymous. Give you a good casting experience. They're in a fight right now, as you can see. He has a green lever, a green lever, a scar, a chug cannon, and minis with more than 1,000 materials. This is a position anyone would want to be in. I'd be hard pressed to see can actually lose a fight with the load up like this. It doesn't get much better than this. Maybe a pump instead of the lever. The lever is not the strongest gun in the world. However, it does have its strengths. The lever does pose the ability to shoot faster than a pump, but slightly slower than attack. However, it does pull out at a pretty fast rate as well. So in the right hands, the lever is definitely a very good shotgun. Let's see what he can do. If you guys look over on the field, you see you weren't ready, gets lost in the storm. Lumi's counter gets an elimination. That's big coming in. And he does opt to take this fight. Not much in terms of loot he needs. He's taking this fight very safe. Getting any angles he can. He gets the wall. That was a good play by him. Looking around to get this elimination. As you can see, this fight was quite drawn out. There's some of his builds that are pre-placed over there. The opposing player has a either purple or gold pump shotgun, which is a very, very dangerous weapon to come up against. You can easily get hit for 189 right now, and that would be his game over. In this position, I mean, you'd want to fight against a spaz. It'd be wise for you to sit back, relax, get some shield with at least above 189. I mean, if you had a gold pump, it wouldn't matter because it's still one pump. However, you do a good job of keeping his distance if he doesn't want to fight. He gets a bounty on Hero. However, I don't think it is Hero that he is fighting. Hero is off in the distance, getting some AR shots in on them. Yeah, Anonymous 314 doesn't seem like he wants to fight, which is not a bad idea. However, he hasn't completely disengaged. Okay, now he has. And this is a smart play. Now that the placement points play a part, there's no point taking a fight, you don't have to. As much as he has spent 400 of his break, he's still in a good enough position to be able to recover all those materials. He still doesn't have the Chuck Splash Cannon, he still doesn't have the Scar. So he's trying to set himself up for a better endgame, opts to rotate around. That's a smart play in my opinion. I'm going to go back to question mark. As you saw at the beginning of the match, he did end up landing in weather station. We left him looting up Catty. And right now he rotated all the way around to the IO post. Here, retail bro. He is in a fight. He opts the launch pad away. He has 2 more launch pads at his disposal, which is pretty interesting considering where he landed doesn't have the most loot. He did get pretty lucky to get that. And he gets even more loot on the ground. He's gonna be able to get even more materials. He can put on some shield. He has a big pot there. He's gonna walk out of this box with 185 effective health. And not bad, not a bad position to be in. He still does have 2 launch pads, so he can get across the map as fast or as slow as he wants to, you know. Gonna pop the med as well, which is smart because at 185 HP you could still get one pop by a purple spaz or purple shotgun. Purple pump shotgun, perfection spaz Fortnite community. As it stands, he doesn't have the best loot in the world. He does have a great pump shotgun, which is far from ideal considering we heard a couple of players with much better guns. You know, it's the player that makes the gun, not the player that makes the player. So he's in a good position to be able to do something. There's 16 players left. The zone just closed. We're gonna hop on over, see what question mark is up to. Once again, we brought us right back to him. Let's see if we can switch off again to get another view. As you can see in the feed, Merigi did get an elimination. That's massive coming in from Merigi. Merigi is one of the Fortnite Kenyan Fortnite scene veterans around for the time. It's good to see him participating in something. Anonymous 318. His third party in a fight. He should be able to get a lot of damage in from here. He does get a 30 tag. He's third partying a fight right now on the edge of Storm. They have a minute before Storm starts. That's more than enough time to be able to finish off the fight. He does have a plasma cannon, which is a new addition into the game. He's got a couple of tags. It's a 30 tag, which is... Oh, we're gonna get a couple more right there. You don't want to end up having to run away from the plasma cannon with QRG. Then just like substantial amounts of damage. He jumps into his box, doesn't get many tags. If anything, he lost more HP than he did gain. Only has minis, that means he's gonna be under 110 HP once he puts them on. He doesn't even want to heal up Anonymous. So hungry for this elimination. It would be wise for him to heal up, give himself a bit more HP. As it stands right now, 2 AR shots, 2 well-placed AR shots, 1 well-placed shotgun shot will end his game. Gets a 33 tag, a 66 tag, 1 from the plasma, 1 from the AR. Still does not want to heal up, and I don't think he plans on healing up anytime soon. Considering the player he's fighting, the player can manage to hit him for any form of damage. He's probably going to kill him. Let's see what he wants to do. He still has 600 materials. This is a fight he can afford to not take, considering he's in a much worse position. There is a medkit in that box. Let's see if he opts to get it. However, standing between the medkit and him is the wolf. Those wolves are pushing. It's only in real life, but in Fortnite as well. But he's just hanging out right now. He doesn't want to be the aggressor anymore. Still carrying the minis. Don't care much for them. It's a very interesting fight. Knowing that there is placement points, I can see why he doesn't want to take the fight immediately. However, taking this fight is within his intention. He sees the medkit. Another medkit as well down here. He's got pump. If he can manage to get that medkit, I think he'd be in a pretty good position. However, if he doesn't get that medkit off, the zone is currently a 2-tick, as this is the third zone that is currently here. The option not to get the medkit hits the launch pad. He could very easily get shot out of the sky if he's not careful. But it looks like he's gonna get a free rotation in. He can figure out what he does with his HP later on. However, it's not an ideal position once again at the end. I think he forgot he had minis, honestly. He doesn't seem like he wants to pop them anytime soon. Just like that, finally, he makes up his mind, he's popping the minions. As you can see, between both Question Mark and Vlotex managed to get up some big elimination. 8 players left. This is the 4th zone. So back on Question Mark, we can see exactly how he's looking right now after winning his fight. He should be feeling, oh, and just like that, he has a purple shotgun, purple pump shotgun. It's one of the better weapons in the game. The Spaz is a very, very, very powerful weapon to have in a position. It does hit you in the body for 108. If you get a good headshot in, it's 189 maximum damage. There's a maximum damage potential of 189. However, getting hit by a pump is never ideal. It's a very good weapon to have, and we're gonna see exactly how he manages to use this weapon. He takes a fight on Bony Burbs, on the main building of it. He's pressuring relentlessly. He wants in. He tries to phase a ramp, and that is known as the No O'Reilly classic in some parts. This sort of pressure his opponent. He has no intention of grabbing the wall. He just wants to pressure him so the opponent opens up on him to get a shot off. The opponent will end up opening up on him, hits him with a really hard shot. He's in a really bad position right now. He has to get out sooner rather than later. And just like that, he gets picked up by Lumi with a Spaz of his own, and just like that, Lumi sets himself up. He has max wood, max brick, 300 metal, a launch pad, and a big pot. He pops the big pot. He's going to be at about 156 effective HP. He's in the next zone. The 4th zone is going to close in about a minute. And we're going to see where the 5th zone, also known as half and half, does end up pulling. 6 players left. I mean, the win is still as far away as it was in the beginning. You just have to wait and see how exactly Lumi opts to play this. If he wants to put himself in the best possible position to win, he's going to have to do something about his HP. We're going to hop on over to Merigi. Decent loadout as well. He has a purple assault rifle, also known as a Scar. He has a purple tactical shotgun, a recon scanner, 2 big pots, 6 minis, more than 1,300 materials, and he's on the edge of zone. He's looking pretty good as well in terms of being able to win this game. Once again, he gets another elimination on Jamo 007 with a rifle, and there are 4 players left. We've seen all the POVs. We've seen Blottix is still in this one. Lumi's here. Merigi's here. Now we're going to have to wait and see. If we're not mistaken, that is the anonymous player we were watching earlier who was popping minis in the bush. He's the only unaccounted for player. We don't know who he is. We will find out after this game. However, this is looking very interesting. Merigi is putting a lot of pressure on this player. Regardless of what the player opts to do, he's going to be in trouble considering Merigi has covered up all his exits and he's trying to get his score right now. Merigi is getting sprayed by Lumi, I believe. He gets the floor on the player, hits him for 30. That's a good shot. Opts to jump in. He is in the box. Merigi gets a crack. His kill is stolen by Blottix. This is a fight between Merigi and Blottix, both players for the Watchmen esports team. So the last 3 players are Merigi, Blottix, and Lumi. So I do believe it is Blottix fighting Merigi as we speak. Lumi might decide to join in on the fight. And we're watching Blottix's POV of this fight right now. We haven't seen his loadout yet. We've seen both of the other players have really, really good loadout. Blottix has a gold scar and a blue pump. And the blue pump is by no means a slouch. It is still a very viable weapon. Blottix is using his recon scanner. Well, he does have a chug splash cannon. A lot of materials, maximum metal. So if it does come down to a build battle, Blottix is looking like he's in a very good spot to win this. Blottix does get pumped. That is, you remember Merigi had the tactical shotgun. It's Lumi who has the Spaz. Blotic is pressuring this box. Lumi is pressuring Blotic. He does have the splash. He has the purple pump shotgun on high ground. Blotic is just trying to get out of the way. And now maybe force a fight between the two of them so he gets an easy third party and cleans up for the win. And this has turned out in a full-out build battle. That's 126 damage from Blotic. Blotic is looking really good right now. He has his player under 80 HP. And if you guys remember, Lumi was only at 150 HP. That leaves him with only 30 health. That is a big shot coming in from Blotic. He does get hit by Mariki. However, he does return a 30 damage shot to quell the fears, calm him down. This is it's taking an interesting turn because most of the players right now, none of them are full HP. Blotic is the only one of them who has the ability to be able to get to full HP. He does hit Marigi for 30 damage. Lumi isn't accounted for, so you probably will see him pop up sometime in this fight. And if the other players are not careful, they focus too much on their fight, they might end up getting cleaned up by Lumi, who has a very, very good weapon to have in a position like this, because the purple pump can do a lot of damage very, very quickly. And just like that, Blotic comes in with a massive shot on Marigi for 140 damage. We have a one-on-one situation. It is Blotic versus Lumi. Blotic has the high ground right now, has 99 HP, looks down at Lumi, can see him. He does have a chug splash cannon. He has to wait for it to recharge. And it's a full-on 1v1 situation. Blotic does get hit for quite a bit of damage. However, he does return a 50 damage tag. With the amount of mats he has, he still has the opportunity to win this game, but he has to be careful. Any damage right now is going to prove fatal for him. He has 51 HP, a chug cannon. Maybe he should have dropped the recon scanner for some minis. However, Blotic is having a pretty good game as it stands. We've seen him pick up very many eliminations as time went on. Blotic has the high ground against Lumi. Lumi on low ground with a purple pump shotgun. He will try to use it to its fullest of abilities. However, Blotic is doing a good job holding the high ground, maintaining the pressure, keeping eyes on his opponent, using the recon scanner. And the position Lumi's in right now is very interesting. The longer he waits, the more likely Blotic will get back to a HP where he can fight and actually maybe even kill him. However, if he does run up on him hastily, he can lose the fight because he's coming in against a purple attack, which is a very good gun as well. Blotic does get the wall, gets a cone in his box. That's good pressure coming in from Blotic. Gets a 63 tag. But the Blotic still can't get killed with just one pump shotgun, so he does have to be careful. He has 700 materials left. He might be able to pop a chug, but no, Lumi gets the kill on Blotic for 100 HP, and just like that, Lumi gets the victory royale in Game 2 of the Lucozade Boost Final 11 Fortnite League. Fun game to cast, the end game was beautiful, it was amazing, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the games have in store. We have a special twist coming up soon. We're going to have a situation where we're going to have random duos, random spots, see how the different players can work together cohesively to get themselves a collective win and get more points in the final leaderboard. The final 11 tally at the end of it all. And with that being said, we're going to move into game 2 in a little while. I'm going to see you guys then. Till then, take care. Okay, so we are back. So, as I was saying, we are starting off with a player who fumbled. So, we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start off with a player who fumbled. And we start o And we're back. Game three of today's solo fixtures. This is gonna be the last game of the solos, and we're gonna move into one squad game for the day. Then we're gonna, unfortunately, end this stream. I was having a lot of fun, but all good things have to come to an end. But we're gonna tally up all the scores. We're gonna have the leaderboards out in the various different platforms that we use to communicate to the players and also to the spectators that are watching us today. So far we saw a very interesting end to the second game. I wish we saw the first game as well. However, we weren't. It wasn't meant to be. But the second game proved to be a very interesting game to watch. There was a lot that happened in the end game. Very skilled players coming down to it. The top three at the last game was Merigi, Lumi, and Vlotix. We saw very intricate fights. As someone mentioned, that they were building Taj Mahals, and that's that's what comes with when skilled players do end up meeting in the game. They leave no avenue unexplored when it comes to giving them the advantages that they want to get. And it was an interesting fight. As you guys saw, Lumi did end up getting the win. However, massive performance from Vlotix coming in second, getting a massive 11 elims out of a 45 player lobby. That is no small feat. And Merigi as well, he got unfortunate to have been tucked in between two players, two very good players. However, still a top three from him as well. That was a very good performance on his part. And I'm excited to see how game three goes. The nerves are slowly dying down. The guys are more comfortable. Guys will be more bold when it comes to taking fights. And that's what comes with most tournaments. You see a lot of the first couple of games, people are very reserved. People tend not to play the way they normally play in an attempt to do better than, like they don't, they in an attempt to do better than they think they'll do because of the pressure and everything. So we're gonna switch over in a second to the actual gameplay, and we can see what's happening. We can see who we hop on with, and anonymous mode, and that will allow us to give a solid cast and tell you exactly who's fighting who in relation to what's going on the leaderboard. And now we're starting things off in Slurpy Swamp. It was recently changed. We're on with the CB Maura. He has 2 ARs, no shield. However, he does have a it's an abundant area. Slurpy Swamp is just shield, and more shield. There's canisters, there's mushrooms, there's shields coming out of chests. So he should be 100 HP and 100 health before leaving this POI. He sees an enemy player. He gets a pretty big damage. That's 60 damage on him. But he does not have any materials. The other player just flew right over his head. I don't think he saw that. He's looking for him. He doesn't see him. The other player opts to just get out of dodge. Just get away and start afresh because he did not expect to find a player right there. As you can see, guys, he panicked quite a little and he's off the scene. But now it poses another threat to Mora right now because he knows he is contested. The other player knows where he is. So unless he can get a shotgun to at least help his close range fighting, 2 ARs is not an ideal loadout to have. Also, having 150 HP is also not the best when it comes down to the fact that you're in Slurpy. We're gonna switch over and see what Hero's up to while we let those guys have a nice time in Slurpy Swamp. We're gonna keep an eye on the feed to see exactly what happens over there. But Hero opts to drop Orchard. This is one of the unnamed POIs that are very popular in this game. Orchard has been around for a couple of seasons now. If you guys remember in Chapter 2, Season 4, it was crushed by Stark. And when it came back, people loved it just as much as it was before it left. It's an unnamed POI, but it's very popular. The loadout isn't not looking bad. He has a plasma gun, he has an AR, a golden sniper, a mini, and a big pot, which he's probably gonna put on very soon. And if you look at the leaderboard, I mean not the leaderboard, but the feed, Lazy Up ended up killing Mora in Slurpy Swamp. So the booger skin that we saw Mora shooting at earlier managed to get the win over there in Slurpy, and now he has the rest of Slurpy to himself. It's primarily unlooted, so I think right now is going to be set to have a very good game in terms of the loot and the shield that he's going to have. But we're going to hop on to Chimp Monk's SI, who is in Misty. It looks like he just landed, doesn't have that much loot. He has an SMG and about 50 mats. We're back on Hero. Let's see what Hero's up to. We want to see if he's contested because he does have a load in which he can fight. He still needs a shotgun though. I don't know how good that plasma gun close range is going to fare for him. And he's going to open the chest, get another assault rifle. That's not what he wanted. He already has a blue one. So the green one is not particularly useful. Now here comes a very interesting position he's in. He has the option to take a blue AR or to take the purple AK. The AK was recently buffed, as you guys probably know. And what that means is the values got changed. So it's more accurate at the beginning. It does slightly more damage. So, I mean, he's standing still in a corner, so I assume that's what he's thinking about. Probably not. However, we're gonna switch over again, see what's going on the rest of the map, see what's happening on the other side. We're gonna hop on right now to UNO Kuro. My apologies if I'm pronouncing my name wrong. But he is also in Misty Meadows, as we saw earlier. Chipmunk is also in Misty Meadows, but UN has a much better loadout. He has a blue pump, a blue air, and a blue sniper with 2 big pots and 2 launch pads. He is what you would call stacked. As you can see right now, Kenyan Senpai has been eliminated from the game. He is watching the game out from the spectator point of view. That is unfortunate. But that does not matter that much because he does have very many games. He has 2 more weeks of qualifiers. So the final 11 get chosen to battle it out for the amazing prizes that we have stacked up. Yonokuro knows there's someone around here. He's looking around. He has his sniper out, a good gun to start off a long-range engagement with. It has the potential to one-shot a player. Maybe he body shot them. At the very least, you miss your shot, nothing happens. You haven't committed much anyway. But 2 big pots, not a bad position to be in. Minis would be ideal because popping bigs in fights is not the easiest thing to do. However, he's still chilling, sitting in his. He's currently looking through a cone edit so he can see his area around him to work on his rotate. Zone does pull toward Weeping Woods, and as you can see right now, he's being shot at. Very good usage of the editing blueprints and the layout to be able to see where the player was. You can see him on the house on the other side. He opts to rotate out, but he's gonna look back and see if he can get a headshot snipe. Maybe get a free kill right here. He does take the shot, doesn't get a hit. And he wisely decides to move away. I do believe, yes, he does. There's no need to fight in a position like this because Zone is pulling up on you. And more often, but he does have 2 medkits as well. But more often than not, most players opt not to fight in a position like this because the rest of their route and the rest of the game would be lost on 1 point. But he still has his sniper out. He's looking down at that player in the distance. Does take the shot, does not hit. But right now he's looking for a launch pad around here, but I don't know if he noticed or not, but the player did end up launch padding from way farther up. Yeah, but he opts to take a very risky rotation. The player could be in any one of these builds, maybe waiting for him to make the rotation. And we're going to have to see exactly what he opts to do because Zone is pulling in and he's still in the area, looking around for that opponent that shot him earlier. Doesn't seem like he wants to move. I mean, he does have 2 medkits and he knows there's a player here. Is he going to opt to push him now? They both have an understanding of where they both are because the other player would not have built for no reason. So he definitely knows Yuan Kuro is on him. Interesting. It's going to be a storm fight in a second. He does get the ramp. Goes down to a 50-50. He takes the pump shot. Both of them do not do any damage to each other. This fight is turning into a stalemate very quickly. And in a couple of seconds, they're both going to be in the storm taking for damage. But he's probably going to opt to use a launch pad, which he does. Rotate away. Get ahead of the other player. The other player will also use the launch pad. Maybe take some shots at him. Yes, he does. And he does get hit a couple of times. He gets brought down. He gets hit twice. Gets brought down to 38 shield, 98 HP. I mean, Zone isn't that far away, and just like that, he has another launch pad. So the launch pad he used is inconsequential because he's back to having 2 launch pads once again. He sees him in the air. The other player takes a much higher angle, and he may be able to get some shots in as well from behind him. He does really want to do that. He opts to take a launch pad, although there was the spire. You guys know there's the points in the map where if you jump at the top of them and use them, you can glide effortlessly across most of the map. He's looking at the player. They both know where each other are. He wants to farm up. He does not have many materials. He has 4 builds to his name. He does have a launch pad still, so if it does come down to it, he may be able to get away, and that's exactly what he does. That's a good play in my opinion, because at least now it gives him time and distance to be able to farm up. If you look down at the kill feed, VP ranks was lost in the storm. It is unfortunate. And this is a very good disengage. This is what's known as a disengage, when you opt to not take a fight that you could have taken before. That's exactly what he does. But he is getting pushed. He has 3 builds. The player has a pepper. He definitely wants to fight him. He used mobility just to get this fight. He has 1 more build, no more builds, and now it just comes down to who can hit their shots. Yonokuro is in an interesting position. He's under an opponent's builds. The opponent knows where he is looking for him. And it's looking like this is going to be the end of his game, and just like that it is. It's Mr. Question Mark. We saw him earlier in the other game around weather station Catty. And once again, if you look at his loadout, it has telltale signs that he did land Catty again. He has peppers. Peppers are readily available in Catty Corner. That's one of the reasons people even drop at Catty Corner. It's a very, 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 very good item for movement, for mobility in endgame, especially when you have to get away from people quickly, move across zones quickly, or in this case that we just saw, get into a fight as fast as possible and close the distance. Just like that, he pops another pepper for this fight. He has decent amount of materials. He has about 600 mats after he builds a couple of more pieces, and that's exactly what he does. He's investing a lot of his builds here. Building with a pepper is not the easiest thing in the world. It makes it quite weird. I don't know if you saw the player or if he's preemptively putting the cones, but it does look like he knows what the player is. He's looking down to drop on Logan and put some pressure on the player, and he hits him. He gets a crack off on him. That's 30 damage. The other player's shield is gone. He gets hit for white damage once again, and just like that, question mark picks up another kill on an anonymous player, which we do not know. However, he's doing well. We've watched him get 2 kills. We don't know how many he had before that, but he's having a pretty good game because the limbs still mean quite a substantial amount in this tournament, and that's being able to mix eliminations with kills and placement is very important. And we saw in the feed, Marigi did pick up a kill. Vlotix picks up a kill right now. And we're on Boily on Spotify. Boily on Spotify looks like he landed on the outskirts of Slurpee Swamp, maybe at Flush Factory, maybe at Hydro. Maybe he went back to get some loot. However, he is doing really good in terms of the loot department. He has an SMG, a green SMG, a blue pump, a blue sniper rifle, 3 minis, and 2 big pots. He has very good materials as well. He is looking like he is one of the better kitted out, as some people call it. When you have a good loadout, he's kitted. He does opt to hop in a taxi, make his rotation faster, safer. As we talked about before, cars give a new aspect of the mobility and rotation. It allows you to move across zones in a relatively safe manner. The odds of you getting headshot sniped in a vehicle are substantially lower than if you were running in the open. Also, the body of the car will be able to take some damage as well. But as it stands right now, he's in a good position. He may be able to get the supply drop, get a launch pad, maybe a better shotgun, maybe an assault rifle to carry. And now we're gonna head over to see what Malgrai is on. He is in a fight. He opts to sit in a bush and wait for the other player to push up on him. He has a pretty good loadout. He has good materials. Not the best in the shield department, apart from the fact that he has 6 minis. He got hit for 50 damage and he cannot replenish that. He is getting hurt right now by Vlotix, and Vlotix picks up the elimination. That is a beautifully played out fight. I cannot stress how good Vlotix took that fight. I mean, for the lack of better words, he absolutely demolished his opponent. Getting the walls, getting placement, getting the cone placement into the box, getting what people call piece control, making sure all the builds were his, giving him the best possible chance of winning the fight. And as we saw, he managed to do exactly that. He found another llama once again. This is the second game of Vlotix has found a llama. He has a blue AR. This is one of the best loadouts. The only way you can make this loadout better is by having a better shotgun and a better AR. But even then, the blue pump is still a very good shotgun. The blue AR is still a very good AR. So this is one of the most ideal situations you could be in terms of the loot situation. He has 500 wood, maximum brick, maximum metal, a chug splash cannon, full shield, 500 AR ammo, 150 shotgun shells. If I were to take my guesses right now on who's going to win this game, it's probably going to be Vlotix. Unless he makes a mistake or he runs into some unavoidable circumstances. He's very well suited to be able to win this game. We're going to head over to see how Serge is doing. We've seen one of the best loadouts you could possibly see. And this loadout isn't much different. I mean, Serge has a gold scar, a green pump, a purple sniper, a big pot, 3 minis. Very good materials as well. But he is on the edge of zone. He's going to have to move. And we're going to have to wait and see exactly what he opts to do with his movement. If you guys didn't see, there was a small flash of blue on your screen. That is a recon scanner. Someone is scanning him actively right now. They do know he's in this box. He knows they know they're in the box. And he's getting sprayed right now. The other player did see him through the recon. He takes this fight, gets an 88 tag on him. The other player opts to leave and go heal up. That is not a bad idea on his part. However, Serge wants to pressure him, get an elimination. I mean, what he's doing right now is good. However, it may bring in some unwanted attention. Just like that, the other players once in on this fight. They saw the other player get hit quite hard. And Boily on Spotify gets an elimination on question mark. Vlotix gets a kill on Lava. Once again, that's another elimination. Another snipe shot taken by Serge. Unfortunately, he does not hit it. And this is an interesting fight now. There's only 10 people left. And as we saw right now, there's 4 of the 10 right now fighting on this side of the zone. So whoever does end up getting the first elimination probably has the best chance of winning it all in terms of this little scuffle they have on the edge side of map toward Bony Bev. The pressure is coming in from Serge on height. He has 80 AR bullets, not the most in the world, but more than enough to get an elimination. The other player is coming up relentless. He does get his shields cracked. He does have enough shield to go back to about 191 HP. But as opposed to taking that, he opts to take the fight instead because the other player was chopping him out. The other player gets a hard shot off on him. He's on 52 HP right now. He gets the wall. He's trying to survive. As it stands, he's living by the skin of his teeth. He's getting sprayed once again. He needs to figure something out. He does have enough materials to move around, but does not have any mobility. Cannot get away from the player. He's going to have to shoot his way out of this. Special carbine assault rifle. Am I right? Yeah, special carbine assault rifle. So, the more you know. I've been playing games very long time. You know what it meant, but yeah. So, I'm going to stay on Vlotix as it stands. We want to see exactly what he can do here, because he does have quite a number of eliminations. I think this is the POV that we want to watch until the end of this game. Whether he wins it or not, it's going to be interesting to see how he takes his fights, because his fighting ability is very high as it stands, and he's using the materials and the loot that he has very effectively to pick up eliminations and pick up kills. We're going to look at Merigi once again. Consistency is key. He's in another top 6 situation. Merigi has a recon scanner, a blue tactical shotgun, a blue AR, and 3 minis. Good materials and a launchpad for mobility. He opts to sit around and chill, and he sees a fight happening off in the distance. This is a very good position to be in because he can run up and get a third party, maybe get a couple of eliminations while he's at it. He does have the recon scanner. He recon scans the bush to make sure there's no one in it. Safety before anything else. That is what good players do. And Merigi can see exactly what's happening. Vlotix is another fight. He goes to pickaxe the opposing player, but his kill is stolen by Merigi. Maybe using his pump shotgun was the play, but Vlotix opted to use his pickaxe. He's going for Merigi's wall. We have both POVs. This is the perfect situation to be in. Both Merigi and Vlotix, you can see both their POVs right now. You saw Vlotix pressuring him. Vlotix does get a cone in Merigi's box. Merigi does have quite an amount of materials to be able to drag this fight as long as he wants it to go. He does have attack, so he can easily jump out and get some good tack shots down and end Vlotix's game. However, Vlotix is taking every necessary precaution when it comes to moving around. Merigi does manage to get out of the box after losing his wall. Vlotix gets the cone, but Merigi sneaks right through. Floors off the cone, so Vlotix can't come up in that angle, so he's going to have to take a different angle right now. Vlotix is going around the corner. Merigi looks down, trying to get some tack shots going on him. He only has 150 HP. Remember, Vlotix's shotgun can easily do 175 damage. That is the max damage potential of that weapon. And this is an interesting fight, because I do feel like whoever wins this game is going to win the whole match. Vlotix does not get the wall, however, he gets a different angle trying to get the wall. He's looking around to make sure there's no one looking at him. Merigi makes a very good edit, but Vlotix is on his case. Vlotix is on him like white on rice. Merigi wants to get in with that tack shotgun. However, Vlotix does not want to let him. Vlotix is more than willing to fight it out in the box. However, Merigi opts to sit back, get a different angle, maybe retry that angle again. However, Vlotix is pressuring him relentlessly. He gets the cone. Does not get the wall. Merigi manages to hold his wall. This fight, he gets a 20 tag on Vlotix. Vlotix does not manage to get any damage down on Merigi. However, now he is getting pressured. He has to be very careful to make sure he does not die right now. It's a top 5 situation. The win, remember, is 4 points. Second place alone will give you 2 points, and every other placement will give you 1 point. So everything matters right now. 1 placement point is just as good as an elimination. So as much as it is great to get kills, living and getting your placement points is almost just as good. Combination of both, of course, would be ideal to have. But Merigi right now only has 180 mats, 17 builds left. He doesn't have any more shield to use, 130 HP. If he does end up losing this wall, it might look bad for him. However, he wants to get into Vlotix's box. He gets a 30 tag on him. He has 140 massive, but still does have a launch pad. He is in zone, so he does not have to move. He's getting pressure off in the distance. He's trying to get away from this box, maybe get into the cone at the very least, and that's exactly what he does. This is a safe position to be in because most players will look inside the box and not into the cone. Sneaky position to be in. He might even be able to drop on Vlotix if Vlotix actually now opts to go in that box. It's going to be looking interesting for Vlotix because Merigi is in a cone. Vlotix may not know that. And Vlotix does not have a recon scanner, so he has no information. Vlotix goes for the high ground. Still has 1,500 materials. And Vlotix has to be careful. He does see an enemy player right there. He gets the wall. The player manages to get back, get away from Vlotix. But now we're on Simplixt _. He has a recon scanner. Decent materials. He is fighting Vlotix as we speak. We see Vlotix's POV. It is a top 3 situation. We have Merigi, Vlotix, and Simplixt. And he hits Vlotix for 80 damage. Just as we try to change POVs, let's see what happened in that fight. When I come back to Simplex, I'm curious to see who ended up winning that fight. And it looks like the fight is still going on. They did trade a substantial amount of damage. However, they both opted to get back and regroup, get their shield up, get their health up. He breaks through the wall looking for an enemy player. He still has good materials, has a recon scanner, so he doesn't have to move around blind. He knows where the players are. If they're going to glow red, a player appears on his screen. I don't know if you saw him. He might not have saw the player. The player is on his left. If he does walk out, he might get into an engagement right as we speak, but he opts to put a wall in front of, between him and the player, which would be the smart thing to do. It's a top 3 situation. The zone is pulling. We're going into the 9th zone. I mean, the 8th zone, I do believe. The 7th or the 8th zone. And the player's still waiting and waiting and waiting to see exactly what happens. Trying to get that coveted top 2 and top 1 positions. Vlotix is putting up relentless pressure. He sees the player rotating off to the side. He wants this elimination. He gets a 70 tag. That's massive damage. And Vlotix picks up the elimination on Boily on Spotify. Petition. That was game 3. We're going to be back shortly with the 4th and final game of the day. It's going to be squads. So that's going to be a very interesting game. Squad fights and solo fights are very different. Squads offers way more variety, way more opportunities to do different things in the game. And that's something I'm very excited to watch. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with the squads segment of today's broadcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final game of the day. It has been a very eventful day. We've seen a lot of action, and we're excited to see what the future weeks hold. But as it stands right now, we're going to our squads game, trios actually. We're doing trios, and it's more of a variety game where teammates are randomly allocated. This is more a fun part of this tournament where you have random teammates and see how you can work together and see exactly who can come out on top based on the teamwork, the coordination, and the ability to fight as a team. So going into this game, a lot of people have shown us that they're very good solo fighters before this, and we're going to see how they perform as a team. And as this is our last game today, it's more of, you know, just sit back, relax, you've already done your part, you know, you just relax, have a good time, and figure out what you're doing differently for next week, because as you know, it's going to be a massive month, 4 weeks of crazy gameplay, crazy experiences for everyone involved. And once again, I'd like to thank Lucozade for facilitating this. I'd like to thank Movie Jabber for putting this all together, all the production, everything in the background. I'd like to thank Game Changer for providing great rewards for the winners. And also I'd like to thank Zelojo for being a partner in all of this as well. And with that being said, we're going to jump into the game. We're going to see exactly what kind of loadouts, what kind of drops people opt to take. We're going to also see where people decide to rotate, because when you're playing a team-based mode, you're going to have to think way more about your rotations. because somewhere one player can fit, three can't. So it's a lot harder to be able to sneak past teams or other players when you're three of you as opposed to just one. You know, there's a lot more noise. Fights take a lot longer to clean up depending on the skill level of the different trios. So all of that has to play a part into this one big game. And I do appreciate all of you giving us massive amounts of support in the different social media platforms. And we also do appreciate all of you interacting with us, telling us exactly what you want to see in the coming weeks, and also what you like about this whole stream. That is very motivating to myself and the rest of the team as well. Now, as we cut into the final game of today, it's a couple of things I want to see. I want to see how people fight differently, if they're going to be more bold with it, if the nerves are still there, if they're going to opt to take slower fights, if they opt to take faster fights, opt to play placement, because now placement is a big aspect as well. Winning a game is akin to literally getting more than 30 eliminations in a match. So maybe sitting in a bush is not a bad idea after all. We're gonna hop on with the fabled Lumi. They opted to land Craggy Cliffs. Craggy Cliffs is a very interesting drop spot. It is very it is stacked, quote unquote, stacked with loot. There's a lot of loot to be found here, but at the same time, it is in the complete topmost part of the map. So rotating down, zones are not the friendliest when it comes to the amount of distance you have to cover. Also, there's a lot of POIs in between them and the middle of the map, so there's gonna be a lot of people in between them and rotating all the way down. So Lumi is generally his loot is not bad. He has 50 shield, 100 HP. He has 3 minutes to carry. He knows we're watching him. He's busting some moves for us. But he has an AK, a grey pump, and a blue SMG. His mats are not all that bad, but I'm sure he's gonna get a lot more as time goes on. He does find a blue AR, which is ideal. I'm gonna go over to Young Laver. We're gonna see where they dropped, how he's looking. They opted to drop in Stealthy Stronghold. Funny enough, Stealthy Stronghold was a named POI, but when the season started and they added the POI, the IO God Station, they took out the name. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to ask Epic Games. I might send them an email later. But yeah, this is Stealthy Stronghold. It's a really good spot on the map. It has a lot of loot. It has a couple of fishing spots. If you might be able to pull out very high tier loot, you might be able to pull out some fish that help you later in the game to get your health back, get your shields up. You know, quite a few different things that this area on the map allows you to do. As you can see, the rest of his shields on the other side of Stealthy getting it up. We have Drury Jr. and Hero on this team. It's looking like a pretty decent team right now. He's running with a great tactical shotgun, which is not the best shotgun in the world. He does have a blue AR. He has a cow on his back, which basically it's a mobility item where you can turn into a inflatable cow. Yeah, you can turn into an inflatable cow and roll around the map. It allows you to move faster. You're safe from bullets, but however, the cow does take only one hit and then it breaks. If you leave the cow willingly, it recharges in 8 seconds. If you get shot out of the cow, it takes 15 seconds. So that's something they have to consider as well when you're rotating through crowded areas. And we're gonna switch over once again to Anonymous 270. Let's see where they decided to drop. Let's see how they're looking in terms of loot. They opted to drop in Misty Meadows. Looks like they have it on their own. And not a bad loadout, full shield, 4 minis, an SMG, which he opts to drop for a blue sniper. He has a green tac, a green AR. He just go for to get a bounty. He gets a bounty on Kenyan Senpai. We saw Kenyan Senpai in the earlier games. He was doing a decent job. This trio is pretty stacked. He has VP ranks, and he also has another player who we saw earlier, Jamo 007. He did end up getting into a fight with Lotix in both game 1 and game 2. And I mean, they have Misty uncontested, which is solid. This is another thing for trios or squads in most team modes, especially if it's not solos or duos. You generally want to have a whole POI to yourself, because in solos, a couple of chests is more than enough for yourself. But if you're talking a whole trio, it would be more than ideal to have a POI basically means point of interest for those of you that are unaware. Those are the marked places on Fortnite. So Misty Meadows, Pony Complex, Craggy Cliffs, Steamy Stacks, Lurpy Swamp, Retail Row, Lazy Lake, Holly Hatchery, all of those are POIs. So generally speaking, POIs generally have the most loot. So if you are playing a team-based mode and you're more than 2 people, you generally want to have a position where you have the POI to yourself. Once again, we're here on Giovanni. Looks like they do have Retail Row uncontested. He has a decent loadout. He has good AR ammo. Has a green AR, a green tac, green nades, a mini, and Zone does pull quite far, but they should be able to get it more than comfortably. There's multiple cars in Retail Row, so that should not be a problem. He is on the same team with a couple of other very good players. Now we're gonna go back on Lumi, see how he's doing. If you guys remember, he did land in Craggy Cliffs. Now we're on Merigi. Merigi got Pleasant Park uncontested. He has a decent loadout. And Marigi's on this. Marigi's teammates, if we can get a peek on that, he is playing with Itsune TG is one of his teammates. And he has a decent loadout. However, his shield situation is not looking ideal. Maybe he can buy some shields if he does get his gold up in one of the areas. He also bought, as you can see, his blue pump isn't something he found. He bought the blue pump in one of those loadout drops, as you can see off on the right side under the map right now. You can see it over there. It sells blue and green pumps. So he decided to buy the blue, and that's why his gold is at 38. So if he did decide to not buy the blue pump, he may have been able to buy some minis. He does end up getting lifted up, and I think that is just by his team. There is no way, guys. Blotix and Merigi are on the same team. This is a game I want to watch from this POV. This is gonna be quite an interesting game to watch, as both Merigi and Blotix, two players that have shown their ability in past games, be on the same team. And I'm sure Kitsune is in a very happy Kitsune is in a very happy position, having two very good teammates on his side. And as they opt to rotate toward the center, they don't opt to take a dead side rotation. A dead side rotation is basically where you opt to go to the least populated part of the map, depending on where the zone pulls, to ensure that you get a safe and easy intro into where you want to go. And yeah, they're quite split up. This is very confident game coming in from this trio. They don't have the jitters, the fear to be stuck together. Blotix is so far ahead of where he needs to be. We're gonna switch over to see where VP ranks is at right now. As we saw, like a lot of teams who are stacked up, they're ready to fight. VP ranks, they have the other side of Misty Meadows. He's got a blue pump, 2 floppers, which give you HP health points. He has a green AR, a green SMG, 4 minis, a launch pad, decent materials. And they're looking pretty stacked as well. And the thing about trios is people tend to die a lot slower because fights take a considerable amount of time. Currently they're opening a cosmic chest. It is bugged out, but it's a cosmic chest they're currently opening. You're gonna see in a couple of seconds when they do end up beating it in all the right spots. It's gonna drop some shield, maybe some weaponry. It's not supposed to look like this, but this is a spectator glitch. Don't worry, guys. You're gonna see the loot come out any minute now. But yeah, I mean, this is lucky. They're probably gonna find a couple of extra shields, extra big pots, stuff like that. So this is a very good find in a position like this, because they do have really good loot. This can only make it better. And just like that, it's open, and there's the shield and there's the weapons. 3 big pots from that one cosmic chest. That's massive. Maybe he opts to drop the SMG. That would not be a bad idea. But it looks like he does not want it. He just wants to keep his 4 minis and his SM. Respectable, respectable. We're gonna go over to the man of the hour, watch Blotix. He has been showing us why he is considered one of the best players in the country. He has been doing an amazing job playing the game. He's been playing safe, he's been playing aggressive, all depending on the position he's in, making good decisions, good judgments. Merigi as well, Lumi was really good as well. There are a lot of names that I didn't expect to be saying today that I am, and that just goes to show, as long as you put in the effort, put in the work, nothing's stopping you. But yeah, they're going to rotate on the Weeping Woods side of this zone. They should have a relatively easy rotation going in. However, seeing as there's 21 people left, they might be able to get an engagement or 2 here. Blotix has a purple tactical shotgun, which is going to be extremely good in his hands. A blue AR, a purple sniper rifle. He does have a cow as well. 5 minis, 2 launch pads, extremely good materials. At this point in the driving seat of this game, I haven't seen a team as stacked as they are. And it would be interesting to see exactly how they can finish this game and where they place, because Blotix has come second once, he has come first once. He had an unfortunate game one where he did end up dying to full damage. However, he's looking like he's doing pretty good right now, and the team is stacked up. They have all the mobility they need, they have all the shield that they need. Itsune probably has a couple of big pots on his body as well. So yeah, Blotix guys are on this side of the zone. If you guys are wondering why we can't see anyone else, they're so far away from everyone else that we can't switch over to them. Once they do decide to rotate, we want to be able to see exactly who else is in the running for this game. Because as it stands, once again, like I said, his loot is really, really good. And at this point, he just needs his skill to back it up and to be able to get a win out here as well. I think they're saying hello to the stream. They know we're watching them. But yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a few interesting games today. It goes to show like the Kenyan Fortnite scene is growing. There's a lot of talents that can only get better, and it's wonderful to see Lucozade in partnership with Jabba and all the other sponsors put tournaments like this together. Yeah, Vortex and his trio are looking around to see if they can salvage any loot. And there's guys, it is a full team in a car waiting for him. Vortex did not see that coming. He is lucky to have survived that, considering they could have killed him with 2 well-placed pump shotgun shots. That is crazy. Vortex survives. And he gets a 90 tag on one of them, gets an elimination. That's a massive kill. But Kitsune does end up getting taken down. Now it is a 2v2. Merigi and Vortex versus the other 2 teammates. You weren't ready. On the other team, he got the elimination on Kitsune. But that was an interesting play. They opted to sit and wait for a player to walk in just so they could attack. They could get some pump shots off. Vortex has the other player very weak. Hits him for 20. Vortex is 1 HP. It does get the elimination, but he is very weak. He has to be very careful not to die to this player. I don't know how Merigi is doing, but Vortex could use a hand right about now. He has gotten 2 eliminations. There's 1 player left. He gets his elimination. That is his full kill. And something else, in game modes like these, if you were not aware, when you do get an elimination, they get knocked, giving their teammates an opportunity to revive them, which takes 10 seconds. But to get your elimination, you're going to have to fully shoot them again for another 100 damage while they're in a knocked but not out state. And that's exactly what Vortex did there. Got 2 of his eliminations. I got very fortunate that they did that. They did not hit their shots consecutively, and that would have killed him if we had a chance to fight them back. We're going to go back to VP ranks. This is the Misty Meadows team. And they're still in Misty Meadows. They're in a fight currently. As you can see, one of the teammates is knocked. Trying to build a protective base so they could revive him. It looks like they might have won the fight. That puts them in a position to be able to comfortably res their teammate. There's a cozy around. They have enough shield for him. So it shouldn't be any issue to get back to full HP for him. And still put themselves in a good position to be able to win this game once again. So if you do recall, Kitsune did end up getting taken down. So Merigi and Block are gonna have to reboot their teammate. VP Ranks jumps in the box, they get an elimination. It was only a solo that they were fighting. That's a big win from them. That was question mark getting taken down by Jamo. And that is an unfortunate way to end the day for him. He has shown us that he is a very competent, very capable player, and has given us a very fun viewing experience. The sights and sounds of Fortnite, the flora and the fauna. As you can see, there's some wolves trying to see what they can get in the scraps of loot. We're gonna see Giovanni right now. He has a parasite on his head. If you guys saw earlier in this broadcast, there was another player who was using this strategy as well. What this allows you to do is this parasite on your head makes sure that you cannot get hit with a headshot snipe. So you cannot get hit with a headshot from a sniper, from a AR, from a shotgun. But he did take a dip in the water, so if you do want to get rid of it, all you have to do is take a swim and the parasite does disappear. We're going to head over to Anonymous 270 right now. There's a lot of teams crowded around the Misty area. If this team is not careful, they can get run up on from behind by the other team you're watching right now. Everyone's just chilling right now, you know, waiting for the next zone to pull. Everyone's in zone, waiting to see what happens. Alright, the team on height on the spire, the little spire head, have an RPG. That is a very viable weapon to use in a game mode like this. In solo, sometimes people opt to not carry an RPG, as it does take up a spot that could be used for something like a sniper or health. However, in team modes, you can have one person shoot their rockets as they are right now, and the other players can actually pressure them. And there's one thing about the rockets is it's a very big material drain. If you do end up getting spammed by rockets, eventually you're going to run out of mats. That's something you don't want to happen, especially in the team mode where there's 3 other enemies that you have to take down to be able to actually survive. It's the end game, and that's where all the points are. A lot of placement points once again. There's 11 people. Zone does pull to the middle, past the middle of the map, so they have to rotate past that team that was shooting at them. They know they're here. They can't sneak their way past it. They might have to be able to get into a fight to move past this point. We're gonna have to see what happens. VP Ranks is currently in the back. He does get a knock on Giovanni. You guys remember that team was the one behind them. I said would pull up on them. They do take a fight on the back edge of zone. They have 50 seconds until zone moves. This current zone ticks for 2. They're gonna have to be very careful to be able to finish this fight. They do have a chuck cannon, which is an asset. They can heal up whenever they need to. As they're looking down at this fight is looking very. It's gonna be a drawn-out fight, considering they both have traded equal amounts of damage. As much as they do have a knock already, and one of their teammates is knocked now. 1v1 situation, good shots coming in from Anonymous 270. The other player opts to take a launch pad. He could look up and shoot him out of the sky. Both of the players do take launch pads. Anonymous 270 decides rotating across with his teammate as soon as they can. Or he's chasing the enemy team actually. He's taking the enemy's teammate who was 1 HP. He might be able to get an elimination right here. He decides to go up through the top. Both his teammates are still alive. He got the revive off. But this is a different team. Anonymous 270 was not expecting to find different players, and now he is on white HP, does not have any shield. He does have a chuck cannon, but his teammates need to get to him or he's gonna be dead right here. Hits him for 20, but Young Laver knocks Anonymous 270. His teammates are there to save him. Young Laver is in a fight once again. Young Laver is on no HP. VP Ranks manages to clear out the enemy trio, manages to keep his dream alive of winning this game. The 6 players that are left, it's gonna be VP Ranks and Jamo 007, who gets hit extremely hard before he hits the launch pad. He might get shot out of the sky if he's not careful. He does have a chug splash cannon still. Young Laver does finally get his elimination. However, he ends up dying to the storm after getting knocked by the enemy team. There's 5 players left, and I do think it is going to be a 2v3 situation. I did not see Marigi, Vlotix, and Kitsune die, so I think it is David and Goliath right now. We have a position, it's a duo. They don't have too much shield. They have a chuck cannon which they've completely used, 121 HP. And they're fighting arguably the best trio in this game right now. We have Marigi, Vlotix, and Kitsune waiting for them on the other side of this zone. It's only a matter of time before we see the final fight of this game. I wonder what they're thinking right now, because I think they know who they're fighting. So I'm curious to see how they opt to take this fight. Yes, just as I said, it's Vlotix on the other team. Vlotix's trio are still alive. They're looking for the final 2 players. Oh, Vlotix is solo. Vlotix is solo, guys. I've just been informed that Vlotix is solo. He is currently fighting, not only for himself, but for his team. And just like that, you weren't ready. Does end up getting the kill. And what is the position right now? It is interesting because now that Vlotix came 3rd, as much as he did do really well, you weren't ready as a solo as well. So that means there's 2 solos and a duo left. So, contrary to what I said earlier, they're in the best position to win this game. All they have to do is sit tight, let the solos fight, because the HP they're on is really bad. 19 HP, 50 shield. This is far from ideal. He does have a purple attack, but not much a purple attack can do when you're that weak. It is a 1v1v2. VP Ranks and Jamo 007 are in a very good position to be able to pick this game up. And probably one of the more unlikely fellows to be in a position like this, considering how much they fought earlier in this zone. The point where they almost died. They're rotating in, good tops coming in from Jamo. I don't know whether they're aware, but look at the feed right now. We just saw Mangral just sniped. You weren't ready. It's a 1v2 situation. He does opt to go down for Vlotix's loot to get whatever's left of it. It is a 1v2. Maugrai, it's going to take a lot from you to win this game. But in the spirit of good competition, we have to look at the underdog. Let's see how he manages or opts to take this fight. He drops some nades down on the opposing players. He has 37 HP, 50. That's an effective HP of 87. One good placed pump shot can take him out. He does have the cow as well. No more rockets in his RPG. That would have given him a couple of more options. But right now, it's just a matter of his AR and his shotgun. That's all he has to work with. We're gonna stay on him. We're gonna stay on him to see exactly how, because he is in a 1v2 situation. We wanna see what he's seeing. If he does manage to clutch this out, it's gonna be one of the better performances that I've seen in quite a substantial amount of time. He does take some shots at the opposing player, gets a 30 tag. That is all. He's pressuring them. They look like they're folding to some extent. However, they're still the 2 against 1. He is very, very weak. He does get hit for about 40 damage. He is still under 40 HP. He is on 32 health. He has to get away and heal up if he has any chance of winning this game. He is building, and he is building for his life. Mograi on the high ground against 2 players who are more than comfortable taking a fight like this. This fight is getting drawn out. VP Ranks is on the low ground. He does have good materials, but he does get hit down to 128 HP. Still has 6 minis. He is not worried. Mograi is still on the high ground. He does opt to use the cow to tank a damage shot, which is a very smart thing to do. He gets a 67 tag on one of the players. He gets a full box in the place, pickaxing his ramp. Does he get the elimination? Yes, he does. No, he does not. He's still alive, but he is 1 HP. They're both very weak. He has to be very careful how he takes this fight. And just like that, Jamo comes to the rescue of his teammates. And that is them taking the win in game number 4 and the first squad game of the day. With that being said, boys, that's all the games we had for today. We're going to go back, look at the leaderboards, have the scores out later today, earliest tomorrow. We're going to have the leaderboards out, and also we're going to have a recap of exactly what happened today. It's been a wonderful experience casting today. I'm going to see you guys next week where we continue the Fortnite edition of the Lucozade Boost Final 11 League. Bye-bye.